Yeah. Yeah. Follow my Twitch. Follow my Twitch. Follow my Twitch. Yeah. Follow my Twitch. Follow my Twitch. Yeah. How am I living? I'm honestly living too good. I need more things to conquer. Find me an uncontacted tribe. I must convince them I am their god right now. But first, follow me on Twitch. Follow me on Twitch. If you ain't a bitch, boy, don't do it, boy. Hey, follow me on Twitch. You know the sitch. Joel Rockefeller, yeah. It's just taken so long to, like, take over the world. Grandpa said it'd be way faster than this. Why won't they listen? I was playing PS5 with my nephew Sunday night. What did I miss? I don't even know, bro. I don't remember anything ever. Follow me on Insta. Thank you. Appreciate you. You know you're a good person when you follow Let's Read on Instagram at letsread.official. Yeah. Found out my daughter's... Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's crazy. Been stuck on a Bing of lioness till I got the notification for this. What's that mean? Been stuck on a Bing of lioness. Is that a YouTube channel? Do you want me to watch here on Twitch? Honestly, I think both. Maybe if I get enough people over on my Twitch watching concurrently, it'll attract more random people over there. And then I can maybe build something over there. I have no idea, honestly. Just a guesstimate. It is kind of interesting though. I open up Twitch and like the stream quality looks better. 1080p, damn. You guys said this audio quality sounds better. I don't know, maybe Twitch is just where it's at. It's pronounced like an H. Wait, what are we talking about? Twish. Follow me on Twish. What's up, Lamp? It's your first live stream. Excited what this entails. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, if you're new. We might start a little bit sooner here since I'm extraordinarily late. I had some stuff going on today and it just took me a long time. But basically I just record stories. I chat with the chat, talk about whatever the fuck warning for anybody new, we definitely get on some tangents for show, which it kind of sucks because a lot of people like get pissed off about it. Not a lot, but enough that it's a number of people. But honestly, if that's not your bag, I would just say wait for the video tomorrow. Tuning in from Sydney. Hello. How's it going in Sydney? Sydney's the fun city in Australia, right? The superior city. David, thank you for the 5. Says, what's up, Joel? Just listened to Mr. Ballin and Sean Ryan interview. Wow, it's awesome to hear his Navy SEAL stories. Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy stuff, honestly. The military, especially in that type of position, is just extraordinarily stressful. And it just takes its toll on you. I just can't imagine, you know what I mean? Never in my life can I imagine what it feels like to be in a life-threatening situation. Can someone remind me where I can submit a few of my unexplained weird happenings, photo included? I remember having an email, but I can't. Yes, so it's let's read submissions at gmail.com. You can also submit it on the Reddit, reddit.com/r/let's read official. Existential phenomenology. Is that what you're studying in college? J-roll. Sully with the 10. Good eye, Joel. Good eye, Joel. Good eye. Thank you so much, Sully. I talked to Dark Somnia, who said he has been super busy and will definitely be acting when he's ready to do Baraska 2. Oh. Well, I had already recorded, the lines for him, so I assumed he was already, like, in the editing process for that. But I'd be fine recording them again or forwarding them to him if he missed it the first time. Just have him email me. Was able to do a Patrick Warburton impression. I don't know who that is. I might recognize him. Don't talk about DEI stuff or your video will get blocked in the US. Did they change something? I feel like we don't really talk about DEI here. It's more of an Asmon Gold vibe. And honestly, I don't think any of his videos ever get blocked. Polar Bear, you got into grad school. Congratulations. Patrick Warburton is crunk. Oh, the Emperor's. You ruined the Emperor's new groove. What are we gonna do tonight? What are we gonna do? Wait. What are we gonna do tonight, brain? Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world. Hope everyone remembered to wash their car today. Coming in hot. Coming in hot with a big pile of poopy doopy. You know, I think we might just honestly get right to it. I got nothing to say, honestly, about the world, about anything. I think all anybody's here is just to hear some stories anyways, so. Yeah, Brain took over Disney. We gotta make Disney woke. Pinky. Wow. Wow. Alright. Let's get it. Let's freaking get it. Were you guys at least able to hear those sick, nasty, Little Uzi-inspired beats? Here for the yappin'. Yeah, if you have anything you want to hear yapped about, let me know. Alright, this summer felt like the way the air feels. This one. We got military stories tonight. Stories about people who were in the military or some, you know, kind of true crime related stuff. Who's winning the Super Bowl? Well, I hope the Eagles win, but they probably really, 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 really want Taylor Swift to win again. But not this time. Not this time. Well, what do we start with? Do we start with... Ah, fuck. This is 16 pages for a true crime. I'm moving Friday because of the military. Wish me luck, guys. Good luck, Sophie. Stay safe and... remember your training! You want the Chiefs three-peat for Mahomes' rookie card? Oh, that'd be dope, yeah. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the Chiefs are winning. It's not like the refs can help them that much, but I don't know. I'm just sick of it. Initially, I remember like Mahomes coming on the scene, going against like Tom Brady, and I was like cheering for them. Like, how sick would it be to be like winning as like a rookie? And then now I just don't give a shit anymore. Travis Kelce and gang, like, could not give a fuck less. I just want Saquon to bring home a ring. I just want the money. Alright, yeah, we'll start with these first here and do true crime later. Kelce about to wife up Swift. I don't give a fuck. Really don't care about their dumb relationship. I mean, I wish them well, whatever. But holy Christ, like, imagine if, like, that's what I always think, like, imagine if just two normal people, like, you had to hear about their fucking relationship every day of your life. It's like you get on Facebook, right? In the past, I don't have a Facebook anymore, but I did in the past, and it was just like the most annoying shit ever, hearing about people's relationships and just all the dumb shit they have to say or whatever. Oh, I'm getting fucking married, dude. Yippee. And now it's just like, it's the same thing with like Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Like I get it. They've both accomplished some sort of monumental task in comparison to like other humans, but they're still almost like somehow more annoying than all the other ones. Oh, is she pregnant too? That's crazy. I can't believe she had sex out of wedlock. What the fuck? I would never in my life imagine Taylor Swift ever having sex. I thought she was a Christian. A Christian. Oh, you're pregnant. Congratulations, Shannon. The summer of 1914 felt electric, like the way the air feels before a lightning storm. My friends and I, all from the same small English town, and yes, from that year I am quite old, very old in fact, and we were caught up in the fervor of patriotism sweeping through the country. Then when the news came, the summer of 1914. The summer of 1914. What year is it now? 2025 minus 1914. Is this sent in from like a family member? They're an actual vampire. Yeah. I mean, maybe it's sent in from their grandfather or some shit. An undead listener. I don't know. I feel like we have to give some context here because I have no context. Oh, I see down here at the bottom. Okay. Memory of my grandfather for... He may be his great-grandfather. Okay, well, maybe I should say it at the beginning. I guess I can just copy-paste that at the beginning. Alright. Are aliens real? No. Space is not real. It's all just a big firmament. If you go up there, you get exploded. Okay, sorry. Jesus Christ. It took me so fucking long just to get to the beginning. Alright. This is a letter from my late great-grandfather. The summer of 1914 felt electric, like the way the air feels before a lightning storm. My friends and I, all from the same small English town, were caught up in the fervor of patriotism sweeping through the country. Then, when the news came that Britain was at war, it was as if a switch flipped in us. We gathered at the local pub, where the air was thick with talk of duty, honor, and adventure, and someone suggested that we all volunteer together, and before we knew it, we were all nodding in agreement. The idea of a pals battalion, where friends could serve together, seemed very appealing at the time. We'd known each other all of our young lives, and the thought of going into this great union, a great unknown. You gonna try to get Gregnant? Or get me Gregnant? Don't do it. Stay away from my Gregnant holes. Your girlfriend is pouting. She wants me to come to bed. Yeah, I mean, you could bring the phone with you or the laptop or something like that. Vixo with the 5 says, I will die on this hill. Sour candy isn't as good as it used to be. It's so hard to find sour candy that's actually sour and lasts. Interesting. Do you think maybe your taste buds have like changed over time? Yeah, I'm on Gregnant control. For guys, we have to just like sit on it like an egg for a while till it works. And David, thank you for the 1. Alvanor with the 5 says, physicist Henry Moseley was sadly killed during World War I. Interesting. Who's he? Let's look him up. Got nothing else to do. Henry Moseley. Henry Moseley, English physicist whose contribution to the science of physics was the... Do you think this story's about him? What's up, Shill? I got you, dog. Oh, what's a pinar? I don't know. It's just something they put into the pinar explosion chamber. Sour candy thing, yes, it has changed. Globally, in fact, there's been a number of laws that now prevent the use of ingredients that were widely utilized by the food industry up until like 2002. Interesting. Wonder what it was. Yeah, warheads definitely were some of the sourest and like had some of the best finish. It'd be like sour for a while and then turn sweet. What's up, Grant? Someone suggested we all volunteer together and, before we knew it, we were all nodding in agreement. The idea of a pals battalion where friends could serve together seemed very appealing at the time. We'd known each other all of our young lives, and the thought of going into this great unknown alone was unthinkable. But together, I knew we'd be unstoppable. And so there we were, signing up, our names going down on the recruitment list one after another. There was laughter, a lot of backslapping, and not even the slightest clue of what we were actually getting ourselves into. We were young, naive perhaps, but driven by a sense of comradeship. 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 Zaro, thank you, dude. Appreciate you listening. We were young. We were young. Naive, perhaps, but driven by a sense of comradeship and the belief that we'd all be back in time for Christmas. And we dived in head first. The training was tough, but seeing as we were all there together was also a good laugh. But then beneath all that bravado, there was this undercurrent of something more serious, something we couldn't quite put words into. We were going off to war, but not just a local scrap. We were wading in global conflict, and at the time, I'm not sure that registered with any of us until it was too late. As we marched to the train station, the whole town came out to see us off. Our families, neighbors, even the kids from school. They cheered and threw flowers as the local brass band played, but I could see the worry in my mother's eyes and the forced smiles my father put on so as not to ruin the moment. We didn't know then that We didn't know then what we were truly volunteering for. The mud, the gas, the endless trenches. All we knew was we were doing... God damn it. All we knew was we were doing it together, as pals. And as the train pulled away, amidst the cheers and all the waving, a part of me, a very small, scared part, wondered if this was really the adventure we all thought it would be. And by the year 1915, we were stationed in a place called Ypres in Belgium. I'm gonna make sure. Ypres. Anybody from Belgium? Belgium. Ypres. Ypres. Planning on doing collaboration in the future. Vidith 22. You make an intriguing, creepy team. Yeah, maybe. Haven't really done collabs in a while, unless it's like sort of mutually beneficial, I suppose. Belgium isn't real. I know. I've never heard of it. What do you even call people who are from Belgium? The Belsh. What's up, crime girl? How we doing? Belshers. And by the year 1915, we were all stationed in a place called Ypres in Belgium. The day was like any other, filled with mud and rain and the constant sound of artillery, and we thought war would be exciting. But no one warned us of how bored we'd get in between action. We were told to be on high alert for gas attacks, but we didn't really believe the Germans would do something so terrible. Not to the mighty British Army. There'd be hell to pay. We were told to practice putting on our masks at a moment's notice, and told the effects on casualties could horrify. But nothing could have prepared us for when it actually happened. It was late in the afternoon when, suddenly, the air started to smell strange, like a mix of rotten eggs and bleach. Then I remember watching as the sky turned yellow. Someone shouting, "Gas, gas, gas," and we all scrambled for our masks. I managed to get mine on, but not before breathing a little bit first. And it was agony, but I managed to get through it and breathe properly. But then around me it was complete and utter chaos. Men coughing, choking, and some fell before they could even reach their masks. I saw my friend, Robert, trying to put his on, but he was too late. He fell to the ground gasping for air, but all that filled his lungs. Who cares about celebrities? Are you kidding? What do you mean, brother? Can someone fill you in? Oh yeah, we're just recording stories for tomorrow's video. Guys, celebrities are the most important people on earth. If you don't worship the shit on the bottom of their shoe, who are you gonna worship? Come on. And every time they tell you to think a certain way, to believe in something in particular, even if it just so happens to all be in unison and doesn't deviate from each other at all, you gotta believe it. You gotta trust what they say, man. Do you think I will get first place in my science fair that's going on at your school? Yes. If you make the volcano real big. Just woke up next to some lo mein pork noodles, a line of good D-hit, and now I see he's live. It's a good midnight here in Ohio. Hell yeah, dude. Breakfast in bed. Thanks, Aicha. And thanks, Polar Bear, for the 5 gifters, too. Hawk, Redheaded Stepchild, YR, Ravenous, Hazel, Old Ham. You guys now have access to bonus content on the bonus content playlist. I saw my friend Robert trying to put his on, but he was too late. He fell to the ground, gasping for air, but all that filled his lungs was deadly gas. It was thick too, very thick, like a dense fog you could see but not quite touch. It burned my eyes even through the mask, and I heard men screaming. Some were running blindly and others just lay there where they fell. We were told to stay low. The gas was heavier than air, but staying low meant staying near the dead and dying, and we waited for what felt like hours. The gas cleared slowly, but the damage had already been done, and it was devastating. When I took off my mask, that rotten smell still hung in the air, and all I could hear were the groans of the suffering and the dying. We had to move the wounded, and there just were so many of them, we didn't know where to begin. I saw men with burns on their skin, their eyes red, swollen shut, and some were coughing up blood. And to me, it was a vision of hell. That night, not a single person could sleep. Every cough, every wheeze reminded us of that gas attack. I kept my mask close, even inside our dugout, and we were all terrified it would happen again in the night, and then we'd awake too late to do anything but cough and choke and die. That night was bad enough, but it was only the next day that we saw the full extent of the horror. Bodies of friends and enemies all mixed together, some contorted in pain, others looking like they were just asleep. And we had to bury them quickly. There was no time for proper burials, just a hole in the ground. I helped carry Robert's body. He was heavy, but I felt nothing but numb. There were no more tears left inside me. We covered him with dirt, and I said a silent prayer, not just for Robert's soul, but for all of us that were still alive and had to go on facing the horrors of war. Christ be with us, because the days after were filled with much fear. Every sound, every wind shift made us think that the gas was coming back, and we were told that mustard gag. We were told that ketchup gas was used and secret sauce gas. Sorry, that's probably not a... So they use people that want to better themselves and try to add a price to everything that can legally... Wait, what are you talking about? Exploded so hard the chat disappeared. What happened? Did we lose? Did we lose some people? Big rip. What happened? Stream overlays. Your quality. Stream quality is good. Huh. Every 10 seconds the chat farts. Oh. Sorry, you guys got me thinking that there's like an issue. No, you can chat. I saw comments that made it seem like there was a technical issue, but it doesn't seem that there was. Okay, no worries. I'm easily trolled. Every sound, every wind shift made us think the gas was coming back. We were told that mustard gas was used, something new and terrible. It didn't just kill you right away. It could kill you slowly with blisters, with lungs that never worked right again. And I survived that attack, but it was never the same. My lungs hurt for months, and I would wake up coughing, thinking the gas was back, and I saw men who survived the gas only to die later from their injuries. I say all this to let you know, I left that war a different man. The memories of that day, the smell, the sounds, they stayed with me. And I learned to live with the memories, but I've never forgotten them. I know that true peace will only come when I'm as dead as old Robert is. May he rest in peace, and may I see you soon. Love for all the PNARs around the world. Please donate to your local PNAR research center. Okay, evil Larry, we know what you're up to. You and James just want every PNAR. Time to listen to my girlies, my girly Joel. Liz, you're confusing me. You're filling my head with all sorts of crazy ideas. Joe, how do you like your steak? I guess medium rare. But lately, I've been kind of like cooking them a little bit longer, especially around the edges being a little bit more crispy. Like there's something to the crispness, especially making the fattier, flavorful areas a little bit more crispy, that definitely makes the flavor come out. And when I say crispy, I just mean on the outside, not like internally. Obviously, you want to maintain as much juice and flavor as you can. A crispy fat steak. Delicious. You like steak? If you even care. I do care. Honestly though, I know there's a lot of good steaks out there. There's many ways to cook a steak, many ways to make it good, but baseline, I don't know. I would much rather just like allow meats to like slow cook for long periods of time, or if you have one of those like instant pots that kind of like do all that slow cooking within like 45 minutes. I just like meats that just kind of like fall apart. Now granted, I don't know, maybe that like denatures the proteins. I'm not really sure, but it certainly tastes fucking good. You like to eat your steak with your hands like a chicken nug. Chicken fried steak. Instant pot with pork roast. I know, it's so good. You just like sear the outsides of it and then leave it in there and it just fucking falls apart. It's so amazing, you know? Before you had to like have a job. You had to like cook, you had to get the slow cooker going before you left for work and have a job to go to, and now it's like you can bang that shit out in an evening. I have an Instant Pot for 3 years and I still never used it. No idea what it does. Yeah, you should look up there. You could even like do something as simple as like hard boil eggs in it within like 6 minutes. So you can have a bunch of hard-boiled eggs available for whatever hard-boiling eggs you need. But you know what I mean? Like, there's just so much cool shit you can do. Make a ton of delicious meats. I like to drink my steak, yeah. Just put it in a blender. The only good rare steak I've had was my dad's during Christmas. I don't know how he does it. Probably just, taps it on a super hot skillet. Maybe he has a thermometer or something, but he might just do it by hand at this point. Or memory. You can ferment in an Instant Pot. Hell yeah, dude. I usually leave my Instant Pot just running for an entire year till it explodes. Pressure cooking makes nutrients more bioavailable. Holy shit, see? I knew I was inclined towards a more bioavailable lifestyle. Liz, do people ever give you shit for eating meat since you're a girl? I always feel like girls, I don't imagine girls like make each other feel bad about certain stuff, but I feel like there's a lot of like girl vegans, so I can imagine they get on each other about veganism all the time, and I'd just be like, shut the fuck up. What is an Instant Pot? It's basically just like a pressure cooker that builds up pressure like super fast and can cook, shit that takes you forever to cook before. You can just like bang that out so fast. You don't know any girl vegans? Bro, you're missing out. They're some of the most fun people. And I know that's true if you don't know them, because they let you know. A few months back, a coworker of mine found out that I used to be in the Marine Corps. I don't talk about it a whole lot, and my life took such a turn after I got out that you really wouldn't think that I was a former military person just from looking at me. You will know if she's vegan. Because sometimes I'll sit there and I'll look at her and I'll wait. Is she gonna wake up in the middle of the night and go eat a cow? Because I think that's why vegans always say that they're vegan, so that you don't suspect that they're leaving in the middle of the night to go feast upon cattle in the field. They don't want you to know about their true selves. That being said, Liz, you should be a vegan, and if you ever eat another steak in your life, especially from your father, you should feel bad about it. Love a good beef curtain. Hell yeah. You can put that in the Instant Pot. How do I tell my mom my girlfriend is pregnant? I'll just tell her. It's gonna be a pain in the ass or whatever, but, this is life. Sometimes you get shit pregnant. Some days you're a goat herder, you're out there in the field, and the next you're a father of some type of inhuman satanic hybrid beast. Watching the live stream is going to ruin listening to your stories when I sleep. Every pause I'm going to think you're going to say, oh, you'll know. You'll know. Please read Stolen Tongues. I promise you love it. What is it? Is it a creepypasta? The protagonist, as some of the stories, makes laughable decisions. This is true. Sometimes they look for twigs to trip over. Oh no, I fell in the trenches of World War I. Isn't it weird that nobody... Honestly, if you could just tell me what's the one word that comes to mind when you think World War I? I'll give you some time. One word that comes to mind when you think World War I. All right, Hitler right out the gate. That was a different war, but I feel you. Horses, Franz Ferdinand, death, Ottomans. There you go. Somebody in old, death, blood, boom, trenches, bayonet. Right. Yeah. Okay. Tolkien. There you go. All right. Now World War II. One word that comes to mind when you think World War II. Franz Ferdinand, the band. Despair, mass death, kapow, buttons. Oh, buttons? Blood, revisionism, bombs, planes, technology, Nazis, blitzkrieg, mud. Yeah, there you go. I feel like that's pretty much all you really need to know right there. Hitler, Germany, Luftwaffe. I don't know. I just feel like sometimes when it, like, the majority of people, including myself, like when you're contemplating like history, it's always just like a flash of like singular words or like narrative memories within your head. You're like World War II, trenches, mustard gas, mud, and then it's like World War One, and then it's like World War II, Hitler, Holocaust, Nazis. You know, it's just, I don't know. It's just weird how some, like, there's so much shit that happens even just day to day in our current life, but like when we as like humans, as like this singular point of perspective within a sea of other neuronal humans interconnected through just all of our individual thoughts, like we compartmentalize all of history into just like a flash in the pan of an idea. World War III, Overwatch, yes. We should fight World War III in Overwatch. There's like the meth head in me that really wants to go back and play Overwatch again. I'm over rivals. I'm ready to get sucked back in. I'm old enough to have witnessed the narrative change in history books more than once. Interesting. What have you seen as far as like narrative changes? Black and white scary photos. Yeah. I do kind of feel for the German soldiers who had no idea why they were actually fighting, like most soldiers. Yeah, I definitely think that is a perspective, even though clearly, you know, not to argue in favor of any of it, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you're conscripted to war, and you're part of a nation, no matter what the end goal of the individuals choosing to go to the war, it's like you kind of are just like a victim in that process. You know, it's either you can either say no and go die, or you can go fight and go die. You know, history won't remember you either way. They'll remember like an idea of you and sit there and argue over things, but either way, you just ended up as fodder. My grandpappy got mentally and emotionally destroyed after seeing a Japanese torpedo hit his ship and seeing his friends burned to death in an oil. Yeah, that's the weird thing too. It's like I always find that so interesting about like World War II is that anytime you ever played like Medal of Honor, or you like listened to the documentaries or read the books, it's always presented in this very like honorable, you know, brass instrument, I guess just more ethereal energy. But at the same time, the things that people saw in war were like horrifying enough to like make them shake forever, you know. But then it wasn't until like Vietnam did the public sentiment start to like shift as far as whether or not it was like honorable to go and die for something like that. That's true. Old men talking, young men dying. And I just really cannot get on with the people who like advocate for war. It's just like such a weird concept. And even like just seeing like it's weird to just see the shift between like the two administrations here, from the last one to this one, how like quickly we can go from what we presume to be like the pre-rumblings of like World War III to, oh yeah, we're meeting for, you know, peace deals and ceasefires and all this stuff. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how did they decide this? And why was it so, like, what's happening in the, I always wonder, like, what the fuck is happening in the background most of the time? Like, who are making these decisions to just, like, perpetuate war, and then who makes them to just, like, stop? Like, I just don't get it. And you really don't ever get to, like, hear about any of the like, sure, you think about last administration, you'll think about Biden. Of course, you know, he's the figurehead, he's the front, you know, he's Master Chief. But you have to wonder, there's got to be like hundreds of branching leadership around him, both militaristically and people who fund it, people who coordinate arms sales, people who are in charge of diplomacy. Like, there's some, like, was nobody along that chain of command ever just like, hey, maybe we figured this out? I don't know. It's just weird. Yeah, I know. It feels like an on and off switch, and maybe I'm sure it's way more complicated than that, but I mean, I can't contemplate it just because we never really hear about it. War is terrible. I feel like if you are fighting a war against a terrorist organization like cartels or Al-Qaeda, then I think it's justified. A lot of wars have been started because of power and greed. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, even just like looking at all the various, cartels, and I mean, there's really no difference to me between like the Latin American cartels, South American cartels, Central America, all that kind of stuff, and Al-Qaeda. I mean, it's just local militia that grows and grows and gets funding from somebody, you know. War makes money, peace does not. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, like, is there a way that we could convince those people that make money off of war, right, make money off of death, is there like a way we could convince them to still get rich, but just do it through another means that doesn't require, you know, us at the bottom of the rung to fight each other, you know? In that hierarchy, is there a way that we could convince whoever continues to perpetuate the war machine, can we convince them like, hey, just pretend like you're taking all the money and you're going to the moon to fight aliens on the moon. I'll believe you if it means you leave us alone down here, you know what I mean? Like, just come up with a new narrative that you can funnel all your money to if that's all you care about. Maybe who knows, maybe they get like a weird kick out of killing thousands and thousands of people too. I have no fucking clue. I don't talk about it a whole lot, and my life took such a turn after I got out that you really wouldn't think I was former military just from looking at me. So when he found out, he was so surprised that he came to ask me if it was true. The actual story of him finding out is pretty boring, so I'm sure you won't mind if I skip over it. And then, since me and him had gotten pretty close over the years, I didn't mind answering all the questions he had. I ended up telling him a few funny stories from my days at Paris Island, and then eventually we got into the topic of deployments. I told him I'd been in Iraq from 2004 to 2005, and more specifically, how I'd taken part in what became known as the Second Battle of Fallujah. At one point he asked if it was scary, and while that might seem like a dumb question on the surface, it's one that required a complex, multi-layered answer. Sure, there were times when I felt frightened and afraid, but during most of the firefights I took part in, all I really remember was feeling mad about it. Someone starts shooting at you and yeah, it gets your adrenaline. Adrenaline. My dad was in Laos way before Vietnam War. The CIA had the secret war going on long before the Vietnam War started. Yeah, did you see like the CIA connections to USAID or whatever it is, the U.S. aid? It's like weird, man. It's like weird as fuck. It genuinely seems like the CIA has its like tendrils in fucking everything. Like everything you see, every news story, every major event, every fucking little concept, it's like they can present something as like a innocuous NGO or like foreign aid or funding, but it's like, oh, actually that's going over here to make a fucking virus that we're gonna use to kill loads of people, or you know what I mean? It's just like, or actually we're using that to secure and irrigate poppy fields in fucking Afghanistan to help perpetuate the fucking opiate epidemic in the United States and throughout the world, and the black market sale of, it's just like, Jesus Christ, like, I mean, it's impressive. It's very impressive to have such a insidious and insane reach throughout the entirety of planet Earth. But fucking Christ, like, would it kill them to ever think of a good idea? Like, one good idea. I mean, I get it. Like, there's, information does help prevent terrorist acts or whatever the fuck. But just one good idea. Like, inject everyone, or no, okay, I got it. Put a fucking big satellite in the sky that, makes everyone have a big pinar and doesn't explode their pinar, but makes it real big. Or you know what I mean? Like, just something makes people feel better, heals their DNA. Like, I just don't get why it's always in the inclination of pain and suffering. Why is all of our leadership so inclined towards pain and suffering and pain and drugs and blackmail and human trafficking and fucking war and just endless pain? I don't get it, man. Like, why has nothing good ever happened, bro? I don't know. I mean, obviously, we have a lot to be thankful for. We're on the internet, which is sick. But it just seems like that's all it is. It's just non-stop, like, pretends to be good. It's the grays. I mean, dude, at this point, based on how insidious and pervasive all of, like, these intelligence agencies' reaches are within every aspect of human activity, I genuinely start to wonder to myself if there's something above them, like something beyond them that has no sense or feeling towards human suffering, that it almost like enjoys human suffering. It feeds off of human suffering, Like it's almost like it's farming human suffering from planet Earth, because there's so much. We need more suffering, please. More suffering. Anything to make a human feel bad, anything to make them feel sad, anything to make them feel pain. I don't know, it's just weird to me. Don't they ever get a conscience? If aliens are doing this, I'll fight them. Yeah. Dude, what if they're just like out? What if the aliens that you think of are just like outside of our perception of reality? You know what I mean? It farms our energy we excrete when we suffer. It's called loosh. What's loosh? I never heard of loosh before. Can you get freaky with aliens? I know. I mean, I hope you can slap some green booty cheeks at some point. At least give us the option. The world is broken. Not to be that person, but I'm going to be this. Why personally are Christian people and sin demons are doing exactly what Joel's saying. Anyway, ran over. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. That'd just be such a weird... It almost seems like too simple, you know? Just farming our energy. Lush is the energy from Hermetic philosophy. Interesting. Do lizards feel bad about eating bugs? That's a good fucking point, too. Honestly, like, if I was some sort of, like, ethereal being, even if I was just, like, a million years in the future above some sort of sentient apes that, you know, maybe we even created as, like, in, like, an Anunnaki sense. Not saying that this is what I believe or anything, but I was just imagining, like, if I viewed humans as ants, I wouldn't feel bad, you know what I mean? I guess we do that to animals too. We do that to mice all the time as we like test our medications on them and animal testing and shit. Shit, I'm about to become a vegan. What the fuck? The world is likely ran literally by the 6 guys who are not politically active or anything. We never know who they are, but they're pulling all of our chains. Yeah, I've always wondered that. I mean, it's like, but how do they have so much power? And like, why do people listen to the because if you think about it, you follow the hierarchy, right? Like, you understand a military hierarchy, usually, right? Like, you look at Trump or something as the president right now in the United States, Netanyahu, is it prime minister over in Israel, whatever. You see them as like the top of the military brass, and the hierarchy must be obeyed, and if you don't obey the hierarchy, you're put in the brig or you're shot or whatever. But you have to wonder what the hierarchy is beyond that. Like, what is it? Is it just money? And how can money control things so long? Like, you have to have something else. Is it blackmail? Sure, that sounds fine. But like, you know, as soon as someone goes a little bit nutso-butso, the blackmail part's gone because they're suicidal and they'll say whatever just to get off their conscience before they have to meet their maker. So then you have to ask yourself, like, maybe they've tricked people. Maybe there's some sort of like strange hallucinogenic drug that they give everyone, and fucking it just like warps their brain to the point that they genuinely believe in the shit that they push, you know? Because imagine if you were able to get to like world leaders from the time they're real young, right? And this sounds terrible, but imagine if there's people who have been planning this for a long time, where you get to the world leader from the point they're real young, and then you just like convince them of some like grander movement. I don't know. You don't even need like LSD or any of that kind of shit. You just are able to warp their mind into something insane. And then by the time they get into the position of power, it's like, let's just do whatever, you know? We were created to mine golds for the spaceship electronics. Maybe. That'd be so funny if that was just all it was. We're just here to get the gold. We love gold. Gold. Manchurian candidate. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't. Who knows? I'm sure we have to have the human brain figured out by this point. Certain, you know, you must kill the Prime Minister of Malaysia. You know, fucking Zoolander style shit. Why did I lie about B-Busta? He didn't delete his channel? I didn't say that. What are you talking about? B-Busta. Oh, he's still there. I think you might have mixed up what I said about King Spook. King Spook deleted his channel. Which they do have similar like art style where it's like dark. So maybe you mixed it up there. Yeah, then they have King Spook Archives. I miss King Spook, dude. He had a really good voice. No, I didn't. My dog. I would 100% remember if I like just like arbitrarily told you that, oh yeah, B-Busta's channel's deleted. Why would I say that? Yes, you did. But I do remember saying that. Why are you even arguing with me? This is such a weird thing to argue about. Why would I say that? I do remember saying King Spook's channel's gone, and it is. When would I have ever said B-Busta's channel's gone, and why would I say that? Like, what would be the point of me saying that? If you can find the clip of me saying that, I'll eat my words, but right now I don't know why you're arguing with me about the most random thing. Alright, anyways. At one point, he asked if it was scary, and while that might seem like a dumb question on the surface, it's one that required a complex, multi-layered answer. Sure, there were times when I felt frightened and afraid, but during most of the firefights I took part in, all I really remember was feeling mad about it. Someone starts shooting at you, and yeah, it gets your adrenaline up faster than you can say incoming. But it's like one split second of abject terror, and then you and your platoon mates are like, oh, you effed up today, mister, and you're just angry. I'd get scared for other people more than I got scared for myself. If it's me running from building to building, I'm focused on 101 things, but not so much my own safety, if that makes sense, because I'm doing my job and helping protect my buddies. But then, if it was someone else doing something dangerous and I could see it happening, that was way worse. Because it was sort of like, am I about to watch one of my friends die? And sometimes they did. But that initial fright of contact and the fear your buddies were going to get killed, those weren't the same thing as what I'd call horror. When I say horror, I'm talking about being so afraid that you start to panic, freak out. The kind of feeling you get when something starts to feel almost supernatural, and you just want to, as they say, nope the hell out of there because you are way, way out of your depth. Imagine how terrified you'd be if you legitimately saw someone turn into a werewolf in real life. It's not just fear and confusion, it's shattering the laws of reality as you know them. Mind-bending, soul-shattering, grown man pissing his pants kind of fear. And I only felt that feeling once in my whole career in the military, and it was in a half-finished 2-story house in a Fallujah neighborhood named Jolan. The aliens feed off our emotions because they don't have any. Yeah, man, Maybe. I don't know. It's weird. It just seems like for as much as they sit there and like people in like positions of elite power always sit there and circle jerk about making the world a better place, it seems like they have no issues with wars going on. Honestly, in many ways, it seems like war is just part of the plan. Sound like darkness prevails. Eat Spooky, yeah, go find it. I don't even remember. Honestly, I feel like you only recently joined the chat, so for you to have like some false memory of me saying "Be Busted deleted his channel," it's like I don't know when that would even remotely happened recently. What's up, Laura? Also, I was kind of thinking it was funny if like somebody wakes up at noon, you say they wake up at the crack of goon. Or you're a gooner because you wake up at 30 minutes past goon. The dude's probably trolling. I think those types of trollings are like the most confusing because it's like, it's not like really funny trolling. It's like convincing me that there's like a issue with the audio in the stream. You know what I mean? Like it's just, it sounds legitimate. It sounds like a concern someone would have, but I don't know. But I guess that's fair. Trolling too. Thank you, Laura. You're a gooner. Sleeping until goon o'clock. I've been gaslighted. Damn it. Boomsicle, thank you. I only felt that feeling once in my whole oh yeah, how do you say this? Jolan. The village of Joel. The Lord Gooner. Holan. Okay, if it's in Fallujah, Let's ask ChatGPT. Where is Fallujah? Is that Iraq? Iraq, located in Al-Anbar province, about 43 miles west of Baghdad, in the Euphrates River. Do you know the place Julan near there? Goon Life. The Goon Life chose me. Jolabad. Jolan district is a neighboring hood in Fallujah. Okay. How do you say Jolan? The J sounds familiar to the English. Oh, job. Okay. Oh, Joe, and then Jolan. All right, sweet. Well, that gives us some context. Or not context, but it gives them context and gives us the answer. I only felt that feeling once in my whole career in the military, and it was in a half-finished 2-story house in a Fallujah neighborhood named Jolan. Now, without boring you with too much of the strategic and historical stuff, Fallujah was probably the toughest fight in the Marine Corps. Crap. The American soldiers in the Iraq War look like teenagers is insane. I mean, did you ever see the ones in World War I? Where they're literally 15 going to die by gas attack. And yeah, the ones in Iraq, especially directly after 9/11, there was a lot of patriotism. People signing up at the age of 18. I mean, you've seen that one where he's talking about like the Iraqi sniper or whatever that they're, or maybe it was Afghanistan, I forget, but it's sad, man. It's sad. I think there was a documentary on Netflix years ago, I watched like 10 years ago, called Estrepo. Was it called Estrepo? And it was just about, and it was funny because we were like, by that point, it, you know, 10 years ago was like maybe 2013 or 12 or something like that, and took, well, actually, let me look at what, do you know the documentary Restrepo? Restrepo, thank you, Mad Dog. Yes. Oh, 2010, that's crazy. Related, it follows a platoon of U.S. soldiers deployed in Afghanistan's Korengal Valley, one of the most dangerous postings during the war. The film was directed by Sebastian Junger and Tim Hetherington, both of whom spent time embedded with soldiers to capture their experiences firsthand. And it's just crazy. I mean, it takes place in like the mountainside in Afghanistan, which was, at that time, I didn't even realize Afghanistan has such insane mountain ranges. And, you know, they're basically dug deep into this mountain range valley. Like they have the whole place on lockdown, but there's just like various villages with random goat herders with fucking AK-47s just like shooting at them once in a while. And all they do all day is just like monitor their movements. And then once in a while, either in the night or whenever, those people from their villages or tribes and stuff will just come and try to have a firefight with them. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just interesting because they said it was the most dangerous area, and it was literally dead. Like most of the time was just like downtime, you know what I mean, just like downtime, dead. And it was sad because you spent so much time with them, you got to know some of them, and like in the middle of one of their most intense firefights, which was pretty infrequent from what I recall. I apologize if I'm wrong, but one of their dudes, you know, as they were like laying there trying, you know, taking cover, they look over and he's just dead. You know, he's just face down dead, and he got shot like through the lungs or something in the heart. And I don't know, just insane. They found giants in the cave there. Did they find giants in the caves there? Question mark. There are no verified or credible reports of giants being found in the caves of Afghanistan, including the Korengal Valley, where Restrepo was filmed. However, a well-known conspiracy theory claims that U.S. soldiers encountered a giant of Qadar, a red-haired 12 to 15-foot tall humanoid in a cave in Afghanistan in the early 2000s. The giant of Al-Kandahar story. The legend claims that the U.S. Special Forces team was sent to investigate a missing patrol in the mountains. They supposedly encountered a massive red-haired humanoid armed with a spear. The creature allegedly killed one soldier before being gunned down by the team. The body was then said to have been airlifted by the military, never to be seen again. Some versions of the story suggest the government covered it up. The story seems to have originated from internet forums and YouTube videos with no official records or witnesses providing verifiable proof. No credible military sources, documents, and photographs confirm such an event. It's sometimes linked to Nephilim legends, giants from the Bible, adding to its mystical appeal. That'd be sick, though. How am I tonight? I'm doing good. The giant is Kandahar. Mr. Ballin actually knows the story, too. Yeah, I wonder if he, knew somebody that knew of it or whatever. That would be insane. Imagine if you knew somebody in the military who genuinely believed the story, or had it happen to them and they're like, I fucking swear to God, there's fucking giants in there, this guy's massive. Gigante. Dude, that's where the next Resident Evil should take place, like a village in Afghanistan. That'd be hearkening back to 4. Oh, and you could play as a soldier. Well, I guess I could still see it being the main people from Resident Evil. Guacamole is Mexican mashed potatoes. That's pretty funny. Got me to look them up again, though, and eat has been a long time. Got me to look them up again, though, and eat has been... Wait, did you find it? Or did you give up? You must keep looking. You found it? Where did you find it? Tell me the timestamp and video, and I will... If I can find... Dude, I'm not even joking. If you prove me wrong and I'm wrong... You said both their names and I misheard it. I think. Okay, if you give me the video and the time and I'm incorrect, I'll gift 25 memberships right now. They believe in the goat man here on the res where I stay. Yeah, the belief on the res, I honestly think feeds into whatever energy can genuinely manifest reality out of human perception. Without boring you with too much of the strategic and historical stuff, Fallujah was probably the toughest fight the Marine Corps was involved in since Sioux City, Vietnam, and we also faced a much different enemy in Fallujah than we did anywhere else. In the south of Iraq, you have your Shiite militias like the Mahdi army, where in Baghdad, it was a lot of former Iraqi army guys that had gone to ground and were conducting an Wouldn't it be funny to travel back to early October 1859 at Harper's Ferry and be like, hello, John Brown, I'd like to present you some things they'd call Kevlar, Claymores, and Kalashnikovs. I don't know anything about that history. Can you fill me in? How am I feeling these days? Honestly, I do feel better. My sleep schedule's better and stuff, and yeah, I feel good. I feel mildly optimistic for the future. Which is good. I sound like a YouTuber named Ethoslav. Who's that? There's so many YouTubers, dude. You know what you guys should do? You guys should become YouTubers. A lot former Iraqi army guys that had gone to ground and were conducting an insurgency. Alright, yeah, I don't know. It's my second account, yeah. I'm just non-stop making... You're right, I just didn't hear you say the librarian guy's channel. Oh, yeah, that was recent, the Phantom Librarian stuff. It wasn't listening well enough. I feel like you were the one that asked me about Phantom Librarian, too. Maybe not. Anyways, you owe us 25 memberships. Just kidding. JK. I'm not joking. Oh, wait a second. I wasn't supposed to click that. Fuck. Hey, welcome 20 people to the Buttersock cult. I've been smooshing. You owe us your soul. You know what's funny though is my one friend I know in real life, he said he came into the chat and then he got gifted a membership. And then he said after he got gifted the membership, my videos started showing up like a ton more within his feed. So I'm almost wondering to myself, like maybe like the gifting to people in the thing could actually be better because it would generate like maybe more overall views or something if you guys get... I mean, has anybody been gifted one and like noticed something similar? How does that even work? Is it random? It is random, sadly. On Twitch, they have a cool thing where you can, like, click somebody's name and say gift them a sub or whatever, which is cool. But on YouTube, at least one, so we got put user on time. I can put you guys on timeout. I can turn you into a moderator, a Discord moderator. Hello, friends. It's me, your local Discord moderator. Your algorithm might be different from other videos because of the style. Like sometimes I only have time for a couple of stories and stop the video. Yeah, I do wonder. I mean, I think it's all based on just overall watch time. Oh, Eat Spooky. You didn't even get gifted a dang old subscription. Dang. You did all your homework? Hell yeah, brother. You are forgiven for the night. I had feet like a man with long ties and claws on the end. It had feet like a man with long ties, toes and claws on the end. His hand was like man's with long claws, and it had bat wings ahead of a Doberman pinscher. What are you talking about? Was this your last boyfriend? How do I pick moderators or help? Just whoever's been here like the longest, and I feel like have been like, I don't know, not, you know what I mean, not like emotionally unstable, if that makes sense. Because there's like some people, I mean, obviously everybody's been chill, but sometimes you kind of just have to get a vibe. Do you get notifications every time you watch your videos? No, I don't get any notifications. I just see the views on videos and stuff. Do I seem emotionally unstable? I don't think so. I don't think I have seen... I mean, I obviously see in here, but there's some people that come in and get real mad about things. Obviously wouldn't make them that. But yes, they have to be as unstable as me. Yeah, and you can't make one mention of a Pinar explosion chamber or I get PTSD. In the south of Iraq, you have your Shiite militias like the Mahdi army, while in Baghdad, it was... I shouldn't have said it that way. Baghdad. Sorry. Claire Connolly, welcome back for 30 months as damage. Oh, that hurts. You are not the father / emotionally unstable. No, you're good. Thank you. I was just joking. I was just joshing, guys. I was joshing with you. Pulling a little Josh. I was drinking too much Josh tonight, and I started joshing. I feel like everybody that's on YouTube has some sort of mental issues. It is pretty funny, honestly. Like it genuinely is like so fucking funny sometimes, like seeing just creators that are just like so dramatic about so much shit, you know what I mean? And I guess like obviously the fans, but the fans don't really get, you know, you can't expect much from a fan or whatever. Yeah, they're so Joshua Tree. I was drinking Josh and Joshua Tree. I think we all have the issues one way or another. The importance is to not act on the crazy emotions we can get sometimes. This is true. Honestly, I think whenever you have like certain heightened emotions, whatever it might be, as long as you recognize where it's coming from, whether it's hormonal or whether you drank too many Bang energy drinks, or maybe you haven't had a cigarette, or perhaps you haven't slept in multiple days. As long as you can understand where those negative emotions come from and like, you know, do what you need to do to mitigate them. Usually don't speak your intrusive thoughts. That's a good start. Where's my vape emotions? Yeah. One story. I felt so bad. I felt kind of bad putting that story with the dog dying first. But the fact that the girls like asked the police to find her vape after having her dog like mutilated, I'm just like, that's too fucking funny, man. The dream I had was like there was a dude covered in viscera with flies clinging to him and drooling. Oh, that's scary. That sounds like you had like a late night bag of French fries and that's the dream it gave you. I wonder what it would be like if you had your intrusive... What if you had like a journal with intrusive thoughts, and every time you had the intrusive thoughts, you wrote them down in your journal? Or maybe, well, would that be good or not? I don't know, honestly, because then it would almost make you like want to have the intrusive thoughts or like ruminate on them more so that you would have something to write into your journal. Yeah, yell them out loud. That would be good too. Then you have... if somehow it could translate to a journal every time, and then for Christmas, you give that journal to a loved one. That would be, I think, probably one of the best things you could do for your relationship with them. I was laying off the weed and watching a bunch of native lore content at the time. That's awesome. I also think that we might have enough stories for a new Native American reservation compilation here soon. So that'll be dope. Terry, welcome back for 33 months. Says, I'm listening to you on Twitch, watching via YouTube. Oh my god, you're everywhere. Ah, I'm in your fucking house. Thank you, Terry. It's good to see you. Also, I still need to make the, what was it, 56-month or 60-month emote for members. Honestly, whatever intrusive thought you guys have right now, please type it into chat. I want to know about it. In the south of Iraq, you had your Shiite militias like the Mahdi army, while in Baghdad, it was a lot of former Iraqi army guys that had gone to ground and were conducting an insurgency from the shadows. But then in Fallujah, it was like the international jihadi all-stars over there, and the opportunity to take on the good old US of A attracted a lot of talent. You had Al-Qaeda aligning terror. Damn. How many chimpanzees can I take in a fight? Probably 0, honestly. Like, even if they were just, like, playing around with you and not taking it seriously, they could still, like, scalp you. Like, imagine if a chimpanzee just, like, came up to you, grabbed you by the, like, one hand on the top part of your mouth, another on the bottom part of your mouth, and just started stretching your mouth open. That's kind of an intrusive thought, but honestly, that's probably that'd probably be like a Mortal Kombat chimpanzee finishing move. Dude, why the fuck doesn't Mortal Kombat have like a monkey character in it? Or does it? I know the DC video game that was made by the Mortal Kombat people had an ape in it that had a chip in its brain, kind of like Winston. But that's what they need in Mortal Kombat. Can you imagine all the sick-ass fucking finishing moves a chimpanzee would do? Raw, Joe Rogan, raw. They could name it Joe Rogan. That would be sick. I found scary story channels that have to be AI from how frequent they post. Yeah, probably. That shit sucks. Oh, didn't King Kong do that to a dinosaur? You're absolutely right, dude. I must have just buried that deep inside my subconscious. In the same way that all the jokes that I say are just stolen from other people. But then in Fallujah, it was like the international jihadi all-stars over there, and the opportunity to take on the good old US of A attracted a lot of talent. You had Al-Qaeda-aligned terrorists from all over the world descending on Fallujah, and a lot of them were only still alive because they were very good at what they did. It was the second Battle of Fallujah before the first had been a wake-up call to our commanding officers. The enemy were dug in like Alabama ticks, and they were being taught urban warfare and booby trap manufacturing by guys that had been fighting in various theaters for almost 20 years by that point. As soon as they realized that, our COs pulled us out of Fallujah, called for reinforcements, then got working on a much more intricate plan to take the city without completely destroying it in the process. And so, a few months later, there I was, fighting from house to house with tanks and Cobra support. In terms of the actual fighting, Fallujah was kind of like chess. Each building in a city block was sort of like a square on a chessboard, and winning each engagement was all about where you had your pieces on the board. Only, imagine you're playing a game of chess. Imagine you're playing with somebody's chest. Dude, honestly, I don't think I'll ever forgive Ridley Scott for having like 3D animated mutant baboons in the new Gladiator 2. Like, what the fuck was that shit? And then putting like sharks. Like, putting sharks. Like, how did they get the sharks there, bro? Like, how did he? And the worst part is like he was the original director. Like, how did he fuck that up? I don't know. Maybe that's what. Maybe, who knows? Maybe he was held back from making like insane CGI stuff, and I don't know. It's so embarrassing. Because, okay, honest question. Did the first Gladiator have any CGI really at all? I felt like it was like primarily practical effects. Like, I'm sure there were certain compositing and things like that, but I don't remember much. God. I don't know if it was someone here in the chat, but like, I still think about that, and I use that as like a way to criticize the movie. Was like, somebody was like, there was really the entire the line where he says, "The frost, sometimes it makes the blade stick," and saying that it by itself goes harder than the entire Gladiator 2 movie is just so fucking true, man. Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix. Crazy. Hey Derek, what's up, dude? So the second one's not worth seeing, I take it? I don't think so. But the weirdest thing was like my friend came up to me at the gym and he was like, "Bro, Gladiator 2. I was like, it sucked, didn't it? And he was like, no, I thought it was good. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I don't trust you. Fun fact, ancient Greeks thought PMS was caused by a woman's uterus becoming dislodged and swimming up to her brainstem. It'd be funny if it was just like written in like one schizophrenic person's journal who listened to me, went backwards in time and wrote all their intrusive thoughts, and now we think like the entirety of Greek thought that way. Hey Alexa, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, anybody who's new, we're just recording some stories, chatting about nothing. There's going to be a lot of starting and stopping, but hey, we're just here to have some fun, man. Let's go, man. Only, imagine you're playing a game of chess, and you can't see where some of your opponent's pieces are until you put one of your pieces in the same square. This meant that every so often, we had to send an assault team out into dead ground in order to secure a building on the enemy's flank. This was not an enviable task because, while sometimes you got lucky, sometimes you didn't, and the enemy had a real knack for surprising the crap out of us. And so this one time, me and 3 other guys are sent out to a building surrounded by a high wall. Recon had spotted a singular hole in the outer wall which made the whole place great for defense, but it also meant the building was being used by the enemy, who'd most likely blown the hole in the wall themselves. Recon hadn't seen any movement around the building, but obviously that didn't mean that there wasn't anybody there, so we had to be extremely cautious during egress. Is it egress? Is that how you say that? Egress? This is like degressing. The action of going out or leaving a place. Direct means of access and egress for passengers. Oh, okay. It means exit. Thank you. That actually would be an interesting game to play if there was like a chess game, but you didn't know where a game of chess, but you didn't know where your enemy's stuff was until you moved or something. I don't know exactly how you would balance it. Maybe you would only have, maybe once you move someplace and set your stuff, you only have visibility for like one block, or maybe it's like, oh yeah, I guess that's true, battleship. Yeah, but I mean like full on chess, you know, instead of just like guessing and blowing shit up. I haven't heard about Coast to Coast in forever. Hardly anyone knows about it. Grew up listening to it. Yeah, I still hear some of the stuff whenever I was a little bit more nocturnal. I mean, I guess I am right now too. It's 1:30 a.m. Recon hadn't seen any movement around the building, but obviously that didn't mean there wasn't anybody there, so we had to be extremely cautious during egress. We sneak up to the wall, climb through the waist-high hole in the concrete, then start making our way towards the first door we see. We stack up outside, but as we do, we can hear this dude inside shouting out some Arabic name because he's heard us and he thinks we're his buddies. He's shouting, Mustafa, Mustafa, then when Mustafa doesn't talk back to him, we heard him start to panic. We knew we had to force entry right then and there, otherwise this guy might potentially alert his friends, so one of us pushes open the door. As soon as the door opened, our saw gunner sees the guy right there in the hallway in front of him, AK in hand, and this look of pure shock on his face. The guy tries to bring his AK to bear, but it's too late. Our saw gunner put a burst of about 15 bullets into the guy's chest and stomach, and he dropped like a sack of potatoes. We leave his body lying there in the hallway, dead as a goddamn doornail, and 3 guys head downstairs to watch over the surrounding area while I'm left watching a window that overlooks the hole in the wall. It was a very simple task. Watch the hole and shoot anyone who tried to climb through it that wasn't American. A few minutes go by, then one of my buddies upstairs You never looked at what art looks like? Let's see. Art Bell. Yeah, he is interesting. He's kind of like, especially with like the smoke and dark lighting, he definitely has like sort of a mysterious, I wouldn't say serial killer look or anything like that, but he looks like he might be up to, he might be, it's like he's one of those guys that like probably has a dark side, but he uses his knowledge of the dark side for good, you know what I mean? Like he's tempted to tap into his shadow self, but he uses it to stop other shadow-like beings. Which mic do I use? You're hearing me through a Neumann TLM 103. Yeah, chaotic neutral. He died in 2018, yeah, sadly. I think he had a good long, I think he honestly had a great legacy, though. I will honestly say, I mean, like, to be an iconic voice for a talk show for the majority of your life, for really interesting topics that tend to be, like, non-politically biased and just want to, like, get into the weirder side of things, to me is, I think, a really cool title, He abandoned his first family and died via drug overdose. Perfect. A great legacy indeed. I liked my story in my head better. What the fuck? That's funny. Oh my god. Well, take everything I just made up in my head about him and throw that out the fucking window. He died a hero, exactly. He died avoiding seeing his kids and paying child support. Like a real man. I remember someone showing me Coast to Coast years ago and almost immediately liking it. Yeah, it definitely just like has... It just has that energy. Caesar, thank you for the 10, says, when are the next stories on private investigators coming out? I don't know, we'll have to look into it. See how close we are to compiling some. Is that honest though, Christy? Please, I like both hope that's true, but also hope it's not. But thank you, Caesar, for the 10. Appreciate you, dude. Very kind. Art had 3 divorces under his belt. Well, that's just because he lived a long and storied life. He was a wanted man. He was like the Genghis Khan of late night conspiracy talk shows. Scout's honor. All right, Scout's honor. Girl Scout or Boy Scout? And do I get cookies? A few minutes go by, then one of my buddies upstairs shouts down at me to go grab the dead guy's phone. And stuff like that was of huge intel value, since he had the point of entry covered from an upstairs window. I was saying... God damn it, sorry. Stuff like that was of huge intel value, and since he had the point of entry covered from an upstairs window, I was safe to move without having to worry about the enemy sneaking into the compound. I stepped out of the room, walked out into the corridor, and damn, my brain is frying right now. I stepped out of the room, walked out into the corridor, and instead of a dead body lying there with 20 bullet holes in him, there was just a pool of butt. Fuck me, dude. I don't understand why my brain just, like, I can't... Knowing the fact that the last story is going to be, like, 16 pages, I might have to call the stream early again, because I just can't even do it. I just can't even. The 1 a.m. wall. I know. Switching to a normal... it's so fucking annoying when shit, like, takes up my evening and I have to start a stream late. Yeah. Hey, Matt, take care, dude. I stepped out of the room, walk in. Dude, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I step out of the room, walk out into the corridor, and instead of a dead body lying there with 20 bullet holes in him, there's just a pool of blood and no body. The dead body had disappeared. And right away, I'm like, guys, we got a situation down here, because obviously dead bodies don't just get up on their own. We'd already cleared the ground floor, so we knew no one else could be inside with us. But the thing that really freaked me out is there were no drag marks, just a pool of blood, and then a few drops leading off into another room at the back of the building. When it hit me that our dead body had just stood up after being shot 15 to 20 times, I felt this chill run through me. It didn't make sense, not by any natural law. I'd looked at him with my own eyes and I knew that he was dead. So how in the hell had he just stood up and walked off? One of my buddies comes downstairs and we start slowly making our way to the doorway that the drops of blood are leading to. We decide to toss a grenade in first, but then the second grenade went into that. The grenade. More kafefi. Has there been any like kafefi style moments thus far? This live stream has been Porcus approved. Thank you, Porcus. You are a blessing unto us. What's up, Screwdog? I know, I thought about starting with the long true crime story first, but sometimes like just the long technical stuff, I don't want to lose your guys' attention too early. You've heard this story before somewhere else. Yeah, maybe something about Fallujah and zombies, it sounds like. We decided to toss a grenade in first, but then the second the grenade went into that room, we just heard boots against the concrete before the wounded enemy fighter comes hurtling out of the room with a knife raised above his head, ready to stab us. In all fairness, a lot of the time these guys shouted something before they shot at you or came running at you like this guy did, but on this occasion, this guy was completely silent, and his eyes were so wide they looked freakishly large as he came round that corner with his knife held high. All I could do was back up to keep from getting stabbed, but even though my buddy behind me put at least 2 or 3 more shots into him, he kept on coming at me with that knife. It was literally like a zombie movie, dude. I was yelling, "Shoot him in the head, shoot him in the head," over and over, but my buddy's gotta get a real... Wait. Did the grenade go off? Oh, my eyes are like burning. Did the grenade go off? I guess we might find out. Yeah, what did Porcus have for dinner? I was yelling, "Shoot him in the head, shoot him in the head," over and over, but my buddy's gotta get up real close with his barrel at an angle where he's not going to kill me too. It was really touch and go for a while there, but eventually my buddy's able to get right up close without getting himself stabbed and pulls the trigger 3 times, boom, 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 until the attacker's head just disintegrated and he stopped moving. And now I'm sure a lot of you will be thinking, okay, this guy has to be bullcrapping me at this point because no one in the history of medicine survived 20 shots and then just kept on fighting. Well, believe me, this guy did. And it's not because he was a zombie. It's because he was on drugs. Later on that day, after conducting a deeper search of the building we'd taken, we found all kinds of needles and bottles of adrenaline and amphetamines. These insurgents had been shooting the stuff up and then going into battle wired on stimulants so they'd be less afraid and more aggressive. It didn't really work for them, I guess. It just made them stupid for the most part. But when it came to being able to sustain injuries and keep fighting, I never saw anything like it anywhere else. It really was like being in a zombie movie, and it wasn't just like that with that one guy. I know dozens of Fallujah vets that have stories like this, of having to shoot a guy in the head just to get him to stop moving. I don't got many stories like that, just the one, but I'm sure you'll agree it's enough for one. But I'm sure you'll agree it's enough for one lifetime. Did that grenade go off? Military 5.56 bullets are long, 22 no stopping power. I don't know. Also, I think Porcus disappeared. Damn it, Porcus. Well, whatever. I'm sure a lot of shit happened in that moment. Maybe they just didn't register a big explosion with shrapnel. Alright. Story numero 3. I'm in Sarajevo. Where's that? Bosnia? Sarajevo. Number 3 already. Yeah, but the last one's like super long. This one is not as long, or it's like 1/4 the length of the last one. You're in Gucci eating Gucci burgers. Does Gucci make burgers? Sarajevo. I gotta make sure I say this right if it's gonna be the first thing in the story. How to say Sarajevo. Sarajevo. Okay. Sweet. I am in Sarajevo, and the city is under siege. I live in a small apartment with my family. We do not go out much because it's too dangerous. There are bullets and bombs all around us. Every day we hear the sounds of war, and it's a constant reminder of the chaos that now grips our city. The windows of our home are broken. We cover them with plastic and blankets to keep the cold out. It's winter, and there's no heat. We wear our coats inside, but the cold gets into our bones, and we huddle together for warmth, sharing stories of better times to distract from the harsh reality. Food is hard to find. Sometimes we eat what we can grow on our small balcony, and we've managed to cultivate a few vegetables, but it's never enough. Other times we wait for the UN to drop aid from the sky, but the snipers shoot at the aid trucks, so we don't always get food. When we do receive aid, it's like a small party, making us feel grateful for the help of others. My brother was outside one day looking for water. There are no taps working, so we just go to wells far away. And he never returned, and I heard later that a sniper had shot him down. My mother cries a lot now. She doesn't talk much ever since her silence. Oh, I got an art project. What kind of art are you working on? My mother cries a lot now, and she doesn't talk much ever since. God damn it. Forge Labs. Who's that? My mother cries a lot now. She doesn't talk much. Even her silence is filled with sadness. My father is always trying to fix something in the house or find us something to eat, and he keeps himself busy, maybe to distract himself from the pain, I don't know. We listen to the radio for news, but it's never good, and we hear about peace talks, but nothing changes here. They say the war will just go on. Every day feels exactly the same as the last. Bombs, bullets, silence, then more bombs, more bullets, and news that someone else we know has been killed. And the violence seems endless. I go to school in the basement of our apartment building. There are no real schools anymore, and we learn by candlelight because there's no electricity. Our teacher tells us stories about peace, about how Sarajevo. It's a gaming channel. Nice. Forge Labs, that would be weird. Wait, let's look them up now. They play porn games. Forge Lab, oh, 5.8 million. That's a lot of subscribers. Oh my god. That'd be nice to get a collab with that from that many views. I spent 100 days in a plane crash in hardcore Minecraft. Here's what happened. That's cool. Kind of like crafting narratives. Just out of curiosity, how many views per month? What? Really? What? Bro, that seems crazy to me. Okay, 1 month ago, he put out a video, 8.4 million views. 2 months ago, 6.3. 3 months ago, 2.2. So it's clear that he puts a lot of effort into his videos, and yet his viewership is 7.4 million views a month. I just feel like these kinds of channels, for as much effort and the content, I feel like it should be like blowing up. I was expecting something like 20 million or like a shit ton of views. I mean, it's still good, but... What's up, Jennifer? I was thinking that since you like Little Nightmares, it's older, but you might like Limbo. Yeah, I actually played that recently, and I played it when it first came out back in like 2010 or something like that, and it was good back then, but it definitely walked so Inside and Little Nightmares could run. Also, I remembered that there was Little Nightmares 3's coming out, but there's also a game called Re-Animal that's sort of made by the same people, I think, that do Little Nightmares, and that looks pretty good too, which is like very similar art style and interesting ideas. Have you played Inside? I have, yeah, such a good game. I played it recently, actually, off stream. Just, I don't know. It really keeps you just like locked in the whole time. There's always like something interesting coming next. Okay. There are no real schools anymore. We learn by candlelight because there's no electricity. Our teacher tells us stories about peace, about how Sarajevo was before the fighting, and it's hard to imagine now. The tales of normal life feel like fairy tales from another world. I miss my friends, and some have moved away and some are gone. The classroom is quieter now with fewer students each day, and one day I found a cat hiding under our building. It was skinny and scared, and we took it in, and we shared what little food we had with it. It sleeps on my bed, and it makes the nights less lonely. Its purring is one of the few comforts we have left, a small reminder of the joys of life. There are times when we hear a big explosion and we all run to the safest room, the one with no windows, and we sit there, waiting for the next sound. Sometimes there is silence after, and we think maybe it's over, but then another explosion comes. We've learned to be afraid of the quiet, knowing it could just be a moment before more violence. One day, There was no fighting for a whole morning, so we went out to get water. It was quiet, but we knew that it could start again any second. We ran to the well, filled our buckets, and ran back. And that night, we drank the water slowly, like it was fine wine, and every drop felt like a precious gift, a moment of normality in a world turned into a nightmare. I dream of peace. I dream of walking in the park without worrying about snipers. I dream of school, real school, not the basement. I envision a city where children play without fear, where families can sit down for meals without the constant threat of disruption. But dreams do not change what is happening. We wait, we survive, and we hope. I'm writing this down now because if we do survive, I want to remember. I want to document our struggles, our resilience, our fleeting moments of happiness. I write about the good things too, like when we laugh, something small, or when the sun comes out after days of hiding. But mostly I write about the fear and hunger and death. And it's important for me that these experiences aren't forgotten, maybe even shared with your audience. It's taken a while to get this out to somebody. This is life now, though. We don't know when it will end, but we do keep going day by day because we must. And each morning... Wait. I fucked that up. God damn it. Sorry, I read that completely wrong. Sorry. Yeah, I was like trying to like write that on the fly, but just because it was kind of confusing. But I see it says I write this in the diary because if we survive, I want it to. Okay. My bad. I write this in my diary because if we survive, I want to remember. I want to document our struggles, our resilience, and our fleeting moments of happiness. I write about the good things too, like when we laugh at something small or when the sun comes out after days of hiding. But mostly I write about the fear and hunger and death. It's important to me that these experiences aren't forgotten even if they are painful to recall. This is our life now. We don't know when it will end, but we keep going, day by day, because we must. Each morning when we wake up, we're grateful for another chance to live, to love, and to hold on to hope in spite of all the despair. The siege continues on our area, but so does our willingness to endure and our willingness to survive. Mr. Beast reenactment of it on Netflix. Oh my god, yeah, Squid Games IRL. What time is it? 2 a.m.? Do you think we can make it through? We can go a little ways. I'm gonna grab. It's a long story, but yeah, I haven't watched the Beast Games, but I'm gonna grab some magnesium. I was looking that up before. I think it was like something of like excess of 200 to 300 milligrams or something is where it starts to get like excessive or whatever. Actually, I have an alternative form of magnesium that's not even what you would expect or whatever. Yeah, the B6. But this one was only like 30 milligrams or whatever. Alright. I will be right back, guys. Just gonna grab that and I will return and we'll see how far we can make it into the last true crime one. Migrod. What's up, big dog? Guys. Do you hear that? Guys, Migrod is TikTok famous. How many followers are you up to now? Let's look. Let's freaking look at it. I'll miss you, poop screen. Poop scream. 28K, that's crazy. Guys, Migrod, am I saying the name right? Migrod? That's right, right? Wart. But he started a TikTok where he 3D animates his followers, and he got 28,000 followers within a really short period of time from his animations. And one of his animations will be in a future paranormal video that we're doing. So I pretty much find these celebrities before they become famous, let's just say. Can you give me a shout out? I grow outdoor weed. Well, shout out Indica, what's good? Do you grow it in like big fields? Do Beetlejuice. Yeah, we're about to read a scary story. I guess. Something like that. Alright. Know what I mean? In the bush. Oh, okay. You're Australian. Interesting, mate. Interesting. Oh, Skrilla, thank you for the 5 gifters. To Audrey, Dawn, Crazy King, I Bad Ash, and Ashley Newbie. Welcome, friends. You now have access to bonus content. Thank you, Skrilla. The Skrilla, the Manila, the folder. Alright, guys. Let's see how far we get. It's commonly accepted that following Hitler's invasion of Poland, the Second World War commenced on September 1st of 1939. However, there are some who argue the war truly started 8 years earlier, during September of 1931, with the Japanese invasion of Manchuria. Back in the mid-20th... Oops. You guys about to hear about Japan before Hello Kitty and Pokemon. They weren't so nice. Do the rest in a Aussie accent. Back in the mid-19th century, Japan remained in the iron grip of the Tokugawa shogunate. The shogunate established a kind of medieval feudalism known as Shinokosho, with samurai warriors occupying the highest social strata, and its close county policy of Sokoku, aiming to limit trade, foreign influence, and the spread of Christianity. You gotta keep your nose a little bit scrunched up when you do Australia. Like the sun is blocking your eyes. And you're confused a little bit. Curious. Okay. Yamina, what's up? Back in the mid-19th century, Japan remained in the iron grip of the Tokugawa shogunate. The shogunate established a kind of medieval feudalism known as Shinokosho. I gotta look up Tokugawa. Shinogo. Shogunate. Tokugawa shogunate, the shogunate established a kind of medieval feudalism known as Shinokosho. Also, I don't know if you've seen the Assassin's Creed Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's just like so funny to me, like how angry Japan is at the historical representation of Japan in that game. It just brings like a deep sense of satisfaction that Japan has like no qualms telling Ubisoft to fuck all the way off with their like poor research abilities and poor writing. Okay, Shinokosho. How you say? The unit story about Japan torture Chinese people so bad. Yeah, Unit 731. Shinokosho. Oh, okay. Samurai, farmers, artisans, merchants. Interesting. That's the feudal class system. It refers to a traditional four-class social hierarchy in Edo period Japan, ranking samurai, farmers, artisans, craftsmen, merchants. Ass Creed hasn't been good since Black Flag. Yeah, I never got to play Black Flag. I should go back and try it, but I never got to, I haven't played any of the other ones either, to be honest with you. I kind of just like have no interest. There was one that was interesting, like, so Black Flag came out, and then there was one on, I think it was, what was it? Damn, it was like one where you're on a ship. Assassin's Creed on, yeah, it was Xbox 360, but you were on a ship. It was like a old generation one. Rogue? Assassin's Creed Rogue? It was, yeah, it was like you were on the ship, but it was like icy. I think it was icy out. Yeah, was that on? So was that like previous generation before they moved to the next generation? Because that one was like sort of, I don't even know why they put that one out. Or it was like a transition. Oh, okay, because Black Flag was, oh, that makes sense. Now I remember, yeah, it was like Black Flag was on the PS4 era generation, and then Rogue came out, and then it was like a transition between the PS4 and the new generation, right? Yeah, late 360 release. Marianka, love your stuff, you're Canadian. I am not Canadian, no, I'm from the northeast of the United States of America. Rogue was right before Black Flag? Really? Well, that's fascinating then. Like, I thought Black Flag was like what really established like the foundations for like using ships in the game and stuff. Interesting. Very interesting. The shogunate established a kind of medieval feudalism known as Shinokosho, with samurai warriors occupying the highest social strata, and its closed country policy of shokoku aiming to limit trade, foreign influence, and the spread of Christianity. The policy led to a flourish of artistic and cultural advances, yet as you can imagine, prohibition of free trade led to significant economic downturns. By the mid-19th century, the food shortages caused by financial stagnation led to violent demonstrations among the Japanese peasantry, exposing the shogunate's weaknesses and hastening its inevitable downfall. Then finally, in 1868, Emperor Meiji, make sure I say that right, Meiji. Assassin's Creed 3 had a minigame that spawned a game around it. Which was it? Oh, Assassin's Creed 3 had the ships. Interesting. Oh, okay, so that's where it all started. Hello from Ireland. Hello, Bernie. What's new, dude? How's Ireland treating you? I just don't know how people can function high, driving, working. I can only chill and dance and laugh. Can't actually function. I mean, I don't really use it or anything, but it sounds like whenever my friends use it, they say they're just used to it, you know? It's like their baseline mentality, so they're just kind of like familiar with, you know, their motor functions and that kind of thing. And obviously there's also like the fact that it doesn't affect you as much every time if you smoke it all the time. They ditched a big part of the story after Assassin's Creed 3 that they've been teasing since the first one. Bro, that pissed me off so much. So like, you know, Assassin's Creed 1 was such a cool thing. Played that, you know, it wasn't the greatest game ever. It was kind of buggy, but it was a really cool idea with interesting parkour and functions. And then Assassin's Creed 2 came out, and, you know, it was, in my opinion, that like really established a foundation for the game that was like next level and awesome. And then Assassin's Creed Brotherhood came out. I remember getting that, and I played the shit out of that. One of my favorite parts was like when you would go inside the Roman structures, like you would like crawl into the tunnels, and then you'd be in like an interior level, and there you would fight the cult of like the wolf god or whatever. And it was interesting because you would like, when you would fight them, it would only take like one attack to like kill them, so it was very fluid gameplay. Yeah, the Ezio series was honestly the best. But then I got Revelations, and I was like not that excited because the gameplay really hadn't changed at all, and it was clear that they were just trying to like milk. That was like when they eventually, that was probably in my opinion where they like started showing signs that they were trying to milk the franchise for as much as they possibly could by just like essentially putting out like DLCs, you know, but as full games. And so I didn't really play Revelations, but I did hear that there was a huge deviation as far as like what the Animus was supposed to be, and the connection to like Adam and Eve, and like the creation of humans from like aliens and shit. Like, you know, it had like a really interesting like sort of Illuminati style story that I thought that they were going to like really come to a finality with, but then they ended up just like creating all these different animuses with like various Templar or whatever they are, like the Assassin's Guild throughout time or something. I don't even know. Based on Donald Marshall, he has the same hair. Oh, okay. Night's going good. Entire America Saga is still the best segment of... Okay, so maybe I missed that part with Assassin's Creed 3. Playing it in the snow and stuff looked pretty sick. Then finally, in 1868, Emperor Meiji was reinstated as the nation's divine leader, marking the beginning of an era known as the Restoration. The Meiji Restoration marked a pivotal moment in Japanese history for a number of different reasons. Firstly, the nation began industrializing like never before. Thanks to the introduction of steam-powered machinery, the Japanese silk industry experienced an unprecedented boom, while the introduction of the country's first railroad system saw productivity skyrocket. The Japanese established a telegraph system in their first national bank, along with their first power plants and large-scale factories. They wished to emulate the success of Britain and the United States and work closely with their new Western allies to drag Japan into the 20th century. The effort was a resounding success, and by the early 1900s, Japan had transformed itself and... Is that me talking right now? It is. I am he, the one who talks. Desmond was Assassin's Creed. Yeah, I guess that was the first one. And I remember that was cool too, is sometimes they would go to the modern times where like you would fight people but like with billy clubs, or like, I don't know, they were like electric billy clubs or something. I don't know, man. I can't even keep up with the Assassin's Creed series or story, and just the fact that like Ubisoft just like doesn't give a fuck about gamers or its story, and it sounds like they're just trying to like sell all their important IPs anyways. It's like clear that it's never gonna like, and it's so sad from what I heard with like Assassin's Creed Shadows, right? Assassin's Creed Shadows in my mind was gonna be like the pinnacle of Assassin's Creed, because I remember back in the day I was like, dude, imagine if it was ninjas or shinjus or whatever you call it, you know. And I thought, like, in my mind I was like, as soon as they do a Japanese Assassin's Creed, it's going to be so sick. And then for some reason, from what I've heard, they had a side team that's normally not like used for their primary games, kind of like how Call of Duty splits up development time between multiple studios, like devoted to developing the Japanese one, the Assassin's Creed Shadows. And it just seems like they fucking just fumbled so hard. And I don't even know. I mean, maybe the fact that they delayed the game will mean that it's like actually in functioning order this time, as opposed to most fucking dogshit Ubisoft games. But it's just annoying. My brother staying with me, been trying to get him to bed for 6 hours. Oh my god, he was absolute. Understand your game talk. Love your voice. Thank you, Bernie. Appreciate you. How's everyone doing tonight? We're doing good. Desmond Miles equals Donald Marshall. Wait, who are those people? Or is it just like a real life person or something? Or you only play Pac-Man and Space Invaders? Tribble, you should play other games. There's like a ton on your phone you could download. You could play Candy Crush. What games do I play? Honestly, lately I've only been playing Hearthstone Battlegrounds, just a stupid Gamba card game where most of it's like skill and chance. And Snake, yeah. I don't know. I stopped playing Marvels, and I'm tempted to get back into Overwatch, but I just really don't want to hate my life anymore, so. Been listening to all the episodes since day one. Love your episodes. Thank you, Thor Thunder. Appreciate you. Let's not get into Donald Marshall. People will not understand what he is exposing. What is it? Is this important? Donald Marshall versus Desmond Miles? Is this like a real life thing? Or is this just like... Donald Marshall and Desmond Miles are two completely different figures from separate contexts. Donald Marshall, the name, could refer to different individuals. The most well-known reference, Donald Marshall Jr. Wait. If we're asking for comparison, there's no real direct connection to them. Donald Marshall, conspiracy theory version, has claims about secret societies and control which loosely align with themes in Assassin's Creed, where the Templars manipulate history. However, Desmond Miles is purely fictional, where Donald Marshall, whether the real person or the conspiracy figure exists in real life. I don't know. I feel like that doesn't clear anything up for me. Are you saying it's like loosely based on his writings or something? And like what he looks like they put like what he looks like into the game to kind of nod at the overall themes or whatever? Play on PlayStation or Xbox. I have a computer. I just play on my PC. February 12th, they're going to be making an announcement for Overwatch. Oh, goody. We're adding another Mercy skin. And a Kiriko skin, too. Yippee. I mean, they'll probably just go back to 6v6, which is what they needed to do for 9 trillion years already. I just hope that it's nice to get some... Isn't that ridiculous, though? Is it not ridiculous that it takes... for them to essentially be dead with Marvel Rivals and the competition therein, to actually finally make changes for shit that people have been asking for forever, for fuck's sake? It's so embarrassing, man. People need to get to like rock bottom every time. The effort was a resounding success, and by the early 1900s, Japan had transformed itself from an insular island nation into a major regional power. Perhaps the best illustration of Japanese advancement is the result of the Russo-Japanese War. For hundreds of years, control of the Korean peninsula had been one of the Japanese military's supreme goals. But Imperial Russia, with its considerably larger army and navy, believed they could simply sweep the Japanese out of the way in their claim to both Korea and northern China. The Japanese attempted to peacefully negotiate, but the Russians seemed happy to let war decide the outcome. Yet this proved a grave error of judgment on their part. On February 9th of 1904, the Japanese Navy launched a surprise attack on the Russian Pacific Fleet, which was based near the low Chinese city of Dalian. How do you say this place? Dalian? Wait, no. How do you say China? Does it say China? Do something pretty big on the 12th to get people to care again. I mean, the only thing they can do is just say, like, it's going to be competitive 6v6, and, I mean, I don't know, the fact that, like, Marvel Rivals, like, continues to add, like, new hero after new hero after new hero, I mean, that in itself is just going to keep people's interest. Wait, okay. Dalian, okay. City of Dalian. On February 9th of 1904, the Japanese Navy launched a surprise attack on the Russian Pacific Fleet, which was based near the now Chinese city of Dalian. It proved a devastating blow and was followed by Japanese victory. Lushunko and Mukden. It's so crazy sometimes too when you think about like history and you're just like clueless of what was happening in other parts of the world besides just like American history sometimes. How to say. Why don't I freaking crave to work out? I'll be so hot. You just gotta like get it. You gotta force yourself to do it for a while until eventually you just need it. And that's why like having someone set up a program for you and like a diet plan and just like saying I gotta follow this even if I don't see anything right out the gate. If you just stick with it, eventually things will change, including your taste in food and your desire to work out. Lu Xuanko. Oh. Lu Xuanko. Lu Xuanko and Mukden. Historical name for Shenyang. The name Mukden comes from Machu and is pronounced Mukden. Oh, okay. Lu Xuanko. It provided a devastating blow and was followed by Japanese victories at Lu Xuanko and Mukden. The Russian Baltic fleet sailed over 20,000 miles to support their beleaguered ground troops, and in May of 1905, they destroyed the combined Japanese fleet at the Russian Baltic fleet sailed over 20,000 miles to support their beleaguered ground troops, and in May of 1905, they destroyed the combined Japanese fleet at the Battle of Tsushima, the Ghost. Cephal, what's up, dude? History is hilarious. See the Great Emu War? Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that has occurred on this planet. The Russian Baltic Fleet sailed over 20,000. The Russian Baltic Fleet sailed over 20,000 miles to support their beleaguered ground troops, and in May of 1905, they destroyed the combined Japanese fleet at the Battle of Tsushima. But it was too late. The Japanese had made significant inroads into China's Manchurian province, but it wasn't merely their victories which forced the Russians to sue for peace. In just over 19 months of fighting, the Russians had incurred around 160,000 casualties. The Japanese, on the other hand, had suffered almost 500,000. But unlike the Russians, whose will to fight was beginning to waver, the morale of Japanese soldiers remained extremely high thanks to their unshakable belief in both country and cause. A peace treaty was signed in September of 1905, with Japan being granted huge swaths of Manchuria. With the process mediated by the US and UK, the Japanese came to view Britain and America as potential allies, so much so that at the outbreak of the First World War, Japan actually sided with the United Kingdom and began attacking German colonies in China and the Pacific. After a month-long siege, the Japanese flushed German soldiers from the Chinese city of Tsingtao. What's up, Cindy? Tsingtao. Usually too busy disassociating and remaining entirely still for hours straight while mentally doing space physics simulations. Nice. After a month-long siege, the Japanese flushed German soldiers from the Chinese city of Tsingtao in November of 1914. They also wrestled in Mariana, Caroline, and Marshall Islands. They also wrestled the Mariana, Caroline... Damn it, dude. They also wrestled the Mariana, Caroline, and Marshall Islands from the hands of the Hun, and provided invaluable support to the Australian Navy in its hunt for the German warship, the SMS Emden. The Japanese proved to be an incredibly effective ally, and naturally, they were incredibly proud of their contributions to the war effort. But when peace finally came in November of 1918, the Japanese felt their efforts went unrewarded. Believing they'd been allowed to keep their territory they'd fought and died for, the Japanese were stunned when the Western powers ordered them to cede control of certain Pacific islands. They were also dismayed to discover that huge tariffs would be placed on their goods during peacetime as a wave of so-called protectionist trade policies swept the globe. A wave. Fuck, man. Japan was a bit of it. I'm over here stroking my meat. I got lotion on my shit. I'm a freak, like, for real. What's up, Jensen? How you doing, duty? Big duty. Where you been, dude? Hey, Katie, what's up? What made me start YouTube? I wanted to make money and not work a normal job. They were also dismayed to discover that huge tariffs would be placed on their goods during peacetime as a wave of so-called protectionist trade policies swept the globe. As a result, Japan's silk and agricultural industries began to suffer. But then, in 1923, Japan was hit by the most devastating natural disaster in its recorded history, the Great Kanto Earthquake. The earthquake is believed to have been the worst in Japanese history, and the extent of the destruction was nothing short of horrific. More than half of Tokyo was either leveled by the quake itself or engulfed in the flames that followed, while the port city of Yokohama was virtually obliterated, with more than 90% of its structures lying in rubble. The cities of Kawasaki and Yokosuka both received extensive fire damage, while numerous smaller towns and villages across Kanagawa, Saitama, and Ibaraki prefectures. God damn it, dude. Getting my me time back finally, weekend gamer mode. Nice. Where were you? Where did you have you've been selling like a madman? Ibaraki. Is my name Joel? Yeah. Yes, sir. I'm sick of working a real job. Want a job not like in the real world. Bawled my eyes out today because people suck so bad. Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, nothing's going to change till you change it. You know what I mean? And, you know, you might have to still work this other job, but I would say just sit down and use your brain to think, what do I need to do a thing that I want to do? You know what I mean? If I want to do YouTube, what kind of YouTube channel do I want to be? Okay, what's that YouTube channel that I want to emulate? What do they do? Do they have a good camera? Do they have good audio? Do they have good editing? And I would honestly say, like, try your best. Don't make any excuses on how to learn how to do that shit, right? I play guitar and sing, so probably just upload music. Yeah, you know, try to upload, play the best you can, get the best, highest quality video and audio, obviously. Got Salesman of the Month like 4 months in a row, just trying to make as much cheddar as possible until I start my Odin sleep. What's Odin sleep? Oh, like you can take off a few months and just chill for a bit. I guess there probably is some months where like people don't buy as many things. As a foil for Joel's advice, I recommend crime. True. Worst comes to worst, commit crimes. I considered starting a podcast with some buddies. Yeah, start the podcast, you know? What's up, Michelle? You know, just do it, you know what I mean? Like, when I tell people I do YouTube, they're like, really? You know, they're always like taken aback. And they're like sort of sad or whatever that they don't do. They're like, I want to do that. And I'm like, then fucking do it. They're like, well, yeah, man. And I get it. It's not going to be easy. But I mean, you can't expect things to just sort of like appear in your life if you don't make at least an attempt to see what it feels like. You know, you're never going to learn how to swim if you don't at least put your feet in the pool. You know, I'm breeding and selling chickens and eggs while pet sitting for a rover. I can't find a traditional job. You will. You will. And who knows, maybe you can make videos about breeding and selling chickens and eggs, honestly. Start with talking about the crazy prices of eggs. The bird flu. They're killing all the birds to control the food supply. Should auction for American Idol. I literally look like Sabrina Carter. There you go. Being self-employed is discipline. I mean, yeah, like me setting up a schedule and then being fearful that I'll be killed if I don't upload on the schedule. Because there's so many times where I just think, like, I could just stay in bed forever, never do anything, and no one is ever going to come, like, wake me up. You know what I mean? No one's ever going to come and say, hey, you need to do this thing, or you know what I mean? I've reached this point in my life where, like, unless I do it, there's not a single fucking person that's going to, like, try to change me, you know? You never want to see a video about somebody breeding with chickens. What the hell? Why not, babes? Why do you always kink shame us? It's 2022, for God's sakes. People want to fuck chickens, we can. Big cock, big cock. I run a resale business on eBay. Definitely takes discipline to keep up. Yeah, that does sound like a big pain in the... But honestly, I would give that up. No, I'm just kidding. It'd be difficult though, especially like the sale. But I would work towards just like finding systems in which you can like like auto package shit, you know. I remember I knew somebody who like resold snowboarding equipment. Oh, bro, where's your name at? Oh yeah, Lack. Maybe you could start selling snowboarding equipment. That's what my one person I knew did. I never got to meet him, but I knew somebody that knew him, and they, you know, he was stinking rich, stinky rich. He stunk. He never showered because he was so busy making money. How old are you? And don't mind me asking how much you make from YouTube. Well, I can't talk about that, unfortunately, but I am 34. And I've robbed every bank. Doing statistics homework. Yeah, it's tough. You really can't talk about your income. I'll be honest with you, I don't really know. I just remember there was like a PewDiePie video at some point that said that he can't talk about it, so I just pretend that's me too. I can't talk about it either. 34 years old and I make over $34 a year. You love Pewd so much. He's a good guy, man. I'm happy that like he's just sort of living his life out of the limelight. It makes me sick sometimes when I see like PewDiePie hate videos, because like, what are you even mad about? Like, what are you like fucking no life mad about? Weirdos. Ibaraki. Marzia is the best. Yeah, does she create any more content, or is high school worth it? I guess just to make friends and hang out with people, and obviously you need to like do well in school so you can, I mean, you don't have to go to college. In fact, I would say that's something you really need to think about for your future, because sometimes people just go to college because there's nothing else to do, but student loans ain't no joke. I feel like the idea that asking about income being courteous comes from rich people so they can pay different people different amounts without them knowing. I guess that's true. Yeah, I don't know. What's my name? My name is Joel. Unpopular opinion, maybe Markiplier's better. I like Markiplier too. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, I think they're good people. They're nice people, you know? They are driven people. They are entertaining people. You know, I didn't grow up watching them. I honestly haven't watched that much content of them, but they're kind of like the forefront. You got Jacksepticeye as Bulbasaur, PewDiePie is, would you say PewDiePie is like a Charmander, and then Markiplier is Squirtle. iDubbbz and Children of Poseidon. Who's that? I don't even know if iDubbbz makes content anymore, to be honest with you. Let's look at iDubbbz's latest video. It's probably like, I hate all my fans. You guys stink, and I hate you. Oh, he made it. Wait. Pickle, 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 goose. 3 weeks ago. Okay, looks like he lives under somebody's apartment building in their boiler room. But that's good. That means he's healing. He's getting back to his old self. To hit the Onision trauma part of the YouTube, though. I haven't seen him in quite some time. My boyfriend got me a DS and Pokemon Sapphire. I'm already on Victory Road. Hell yeah, dude. That's the life right there. The cities of Kawasaki and Yokosuka both received extensive fire damage, while numerous small towns and villages across Kanagawa, Saitama, and Ibaraki prefectures— Damn it to hell. The cities of Kawasaki, Yokosuka, Pinasbuka— Damn it, dude, I cannot. The cities of Kawasaki and Yokosuka both received extensive fire damage, while numerous small... Alright, I'm going to finish this page, and then I think I'm just going to go to bed, because it's almost 3 a.m. and I gotta be up. I can't fucking read shit. I suck at reading. Would I adopt a possum? Maybe I would do that. I'll have to sit and think about it for a little while. Bro, I have a 2DS XL jailbroken with every Pokemon game. Dude, that's sick. I always see like random jailbroken console type systems or like old school systems on like Instagram, and I never know if like it's legit or not. It seems sick. It's almost 3 here too, which means we're in the same time zone. Is this page 37 of 16 or what? This is page 4 of 19. God damn it. Gosh dang it. God dang it. The cities of Kawasaki and Yokosuka both received extensive fire damage, while numerous smaller towns and villages across Kanagawa, Saitama, and Ibaraki prefectures received extensive damage. In just 4 minutes and 48 seconds, hundreds of years of hard work and progress had been utterly laid to waste. Central Japan lay in ruins, and it was here that the seeds of militarism were first sown, and the fertile soil of national humiliation and economic instability. Without stable peacetime industry to devote themselves, the Japanese population turned to its generals for purpose and direction. The days of making war against the Russians and the Germans had been glorious, filled with pride and productivity, and as the factory doors closed, the ranks of the imperial armies swelled dramatically. Japan's generals promised to guide its citizenry in the same way they guided their soldiers, to victory at any cost. They preached the doctrine of Kokutai, which demanded absolute loyalty to the emperor and the state, and revived the ancient samurai ethos of Bushido, where ultimate honor lies in glorious self-sacrifice. Glorification of Japan's military victories crept into the nation's schools, where students were instilled with martial values, taught that the Japanese were... Dude, now it's actually getting good here. Isn't that what the fuck? They had an earthquake, which is, I guess, the same as like a declaration of war nowadays. They had a freaking massive earthquake, and they were like, yeah, let's go to war. Japanese history throughout college, so that's funny. Yeah, is any of this like ringing a bell? A big old earthquake? Greetings from the Netherlands. Thank you, Bunny. How's it going over there? Glorification of Japan's military victories crept into the nation's schools, where students were instilled with martial values, taught that the Japanese were a divine people, and told the country was destined for expansion. Any public figure or politician who suggested otherwise was targeted for assassination by either violent militants or members of the Japanese military. And by 1931, and despite their reverence of the divine emperor Hirohito. Your oldest video is 10 years old. He's my baby. My little baby. He's growing. Growing in views. Let's see, what is my oldest video? Oldest, Rosen Maiden Wiki. 10,000 views. Demonic Dreams Creepypasta. 14,000. Let's listen to this one. Oh my god, it sounds so stupid. You guys gotta hear this.
And welcome to another edition of Let's Read.
Jesus Christ.
Today we will be reading Creepypasta.
Listen to that background noise. Holy fuck. Me taking a big
Today's reading
slurp.
is entitled Demonic Dreams. You wake up in a cold sweat.
God, listen, I didn't have a pop filter
You
or anything.
always do. But this one felt different.
Did it? Really? Oh.
You've been having dreams lately. Dreams that didn't make a lot of sense to you. They were always the same,
My God.
but in different places. They always ended up the same.
So breathy. Yeah, and I'm like trying so
slaughter
hard
from
to
an
like
unknown
sound
assailant,
something.
and a pool of blood around your feet.
Pool of blood.
It started 3 years ago,
Do I sound 10 years younger?
when you had the one chance to change your life. But you didn't.
But you didn't.
February 14th, 2010. You come home from school with a cool breeze behind you. You and your friend Andy were walking to your...
Yeah, that could be my cold. You and your friend Andy were walking. What if the creepypasta still exists? Oh yeah, here's the link right here. Look at me, linking to people's work back then. What a cool guy I was. You will wake up in a cold sweat. You always do. But this one felt different. You've been having dreams lately. Dreams that didn't make a lot of sense to you. They were always the same, but in different places. They always ended the same. A slaughter from an unknown assailant and a pool of blood around your feet. It started 3 years ago when you had the one chance to change your life. But you didn't. Alright, dudes. Thanks for chilling. I'll be sure to get the rest of that military story with the Japanese done tomorrow. But play the Russian one. Yeah, let's go. Actually, I'm curious. Curious. Psalms. Jamaican patois. Ben Drowned. Dude, did I even finish Ben Drowned? What the fuck? I have part 1 of 5. Jim Corbett wiki page, which has 77,000 views. Why? I have no clue.
Hello.
Who the fuck wanted to hear about Jim Corbett? Great humanitarian and great man with highest degree of empathy. It is a great shame that a good film cannot produce about hunting of these... Oh, was there like a famous... Richard Creaser's excellent choice of words. Jim's memory will live on. Wow, man, I was very thoughtful back then. Interesting. Teeth.jpg. Oh, there's the Russian sleep experiment. Let's listen. Oh, I had like an intro, dude. I was legit. Boom, boom. With like a watermark. Mon Bleu, no worries.
Russian researchers in the late 1940s.
Huh. A little bit of a change there
People
between the
waited
first
for
one.
15 days using an experimental gas-based stimulant. They were kept in a sealed environment.
Now I'm like way
to
further away from the
monitor
microphone.
Oxygen intake so the gas didn't kill them, since it was toxic in high concentrations.
I sound kind of like my
This
typical
was
talking
before
voice.
closed-circuit cameras, so they had only microphones and 5
This was before closed-circuit cameras. Microphones.
inch thick glass.
Sound like I'm in the other room.
Size windows into the chamber to monitor them.
It is fucking weird though, dude. Like, I'm 34. I started YouTube at 24, which I think is like how old Wendigoon is now. You know what I mean? Like, it's just funny to think like, dude, that's why you guys need to start YouTube, because like at literally any moment, your channel could pop off, and you could be the next thing that Reddit complains about. I'm 34, yepper. I'm old as the summer rain. But yeah, a particle accelerator creates black holes, they theoretically say. Wait, they came out and actually said it now? Because I remember hearing about that fucking like a decade ago. I'm going to be 35 this year. It's true. What do you guys hear when you think 35? Like, what is that? I mean, that is unk. That's legitimately unk status, and I am an uncle. I do have siblings, and they do have children. And I have been an uncle for quite some time. I have become unkified. Particle accelerator can bounce back time, Groundhog Day effect. I did hear, yeah, that's where the time machines were invented. Is it Unk or Ankh? Like the Egyptian Ankh? You're going to be 41. Yeah, I don't know. I guess at the end of the day, you kind of just have to set the number aside. And it's like as long as you're accomplishing your life goals or whatever the fuck those are, and trying to stay healthy and shit. You know, it's just like, who cares? Whatever. Unk status comes for us all one day. Being 45 is depressing. Well, yeah, I guess so. But at the same time, like, I know so many 45-year-olds who are just like in great shape and kicking ass and just living life and just don't give a fuck what people think anymore. And I can't say that I'm at that stage or whatever, but what am I wearing? Oh, human skin. 50 sucks. Yeah, I feel like I gotta like get into like overdrive. Yeah, why are you 50? Just don't be 50. Easy peasy. Just kidding. JK, don't expect myself to live to be 35, to be honest. I'm already 27. How come? Are you like 400 pounds or something? That the Grim Reaper's coming to steal your Big Mac. Why are you gay? Why are you gay? My dad's almost 60, is a beast and is good shape. That's good. That's good. Honestly, that's all you can hope for in life. But sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna go hit the sack and then go to bed. But you guys are awesome. I'll be back streaming probably Sunday. Sorry I started so late today. Yeah. Apologies for that. But yeah, we'll get this up tomorrow on YouTube. Get it up on Patreon first. It's only $1 a month over there for early access. Then we will get it up on YouTube. Same time, same place, 9 p.m. EST. There's also a new podcast out on the podcast side of things at or not even an ad. It's just the Let's Read podcast. So, you know the deal. Yeah, and follow me on Instagram at letsread.official to be kept up to date when I go live in case the notifications over here don't work. But you should hit those because that's sick. But yeah, be good to people. Think. Use your brains, you know? Don't judge other people for how they think, even though it's understandable sometimes. But you have to understand that they think the way they think because that's just how their brain be thinking. But I also believe that you should also have conversations with those folks and discuss things. Don't let the CIA divide you. That is their end goal. They want to destroy the United States, but we won't let them, guys. We won't let them!